So we have a driveway out in Greensboro. The gravel entry is 30. We had discussed doing a 20-foot wide entry, which is more than enough, which would basically be 5 foot off the gravel edges. So 5 off each edge, 30 minus 5 on both sides, that's 10. Makes a 20-foot entry, which I have marked here and here. It's not exact, but just so you have an idea. And then what we're going to do is over 20 feet, you can see that line I made, it becomes 10. So you can imagine it flaring into a 10. And then basically 10 feet out would be 15 until it hits this 10 mark, in which it becomes uniform for the remainder of the drive, right? Okay. And again, the orientation of this entire shape will kind of depend on exactly where we put this drive, which is basically somewhere right here, almost like a foot in the mulch, because he wants it as far away from that side as he can. As I go over the back, the way it ties in will become more clear. We're going to put I'm presuming a 4-inch PVC drain here for this washout, and basically in between that drain and where my car is, because that's another low spot, so we want to catch all the water from this coming down. And let's see, so we're going to have to go, down several inches and take all that gravel, and I basically want to put it here and here, because, and you can't tell too well in the video, but there's a bit of a banana here where this is higher than that, and so we're going to try to just flatten that out because we have a sidewalk elevation to contend with. So I essentially think we can go down 4 inches here, right, to match this, even though now we're going to be going to here. More on that in a moment. And that's going to basically be kind of straight, so 10 feet over, which is about right here, by the way. Don't worry too much. I'm kind of making all these inferences so that way when I go to draw it up, I can make a better sketch. So don't worry too much about the orientation of things. But the point is all this material here, we can put in a low spot, grade it and make it flat. And even if this is only an inch or so above grade, so that way it's not underground, back where there's obviously a washout problem, 4-inch on grade allows kind of to stop anything from washing over the driveway. And also the drain pipe, the PVC, will catch the water. So this is where it gets a little bit tricky, which not including the first 20 feet, which becomes a transition, which averages a 15 by 20 long, 15 wide average, because it's 20 and then becomes 10. It's about 172 feet by 10 up until about here. So let's start on this side to make more sense. We're going to do concrete here, and the reason for that is because this building is going on the concrete. This frame spot will be facing that way, and the roll down door, he wants a 10, and the building is 14 wide for it to be able to get a zero turn in here. And I'm presuming he's going to get those sort of short ramps to be able to get in there. He hadn't decided exactly how he's going to do that, but the point is another 10 by 14 in front of the building, which in conjunction to the driveway is essentially 34 feet. So it's basically the 10 by 172 plus the apron, and then an additional 10 by 34. And from there back is a 35 by 35, because we're going to go 3 feet off the house. No, I'm sorry, it's a 35 by 10. That's right. And then 3 feet off the house, because that's 8 feet off the house. And we're going to do a 35 long by 35 wide, because we're stopping here. That's 8 feet off the house, and he wanted to come 3 feet off for that side, because there will be a little bit extra parking there, and then 30 feet from here, which means 30 plus the 5 with the 3 feet off. So that's a 35 by 10 plus 35 by 35, excuse me. And then so this back corner is very low. It's about 3 feet of fall, 3 foot distance drop from that 40 foot distance, because this is where the shed's going. and you don't want it right on the edge. So I figure instead of doing, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. Point is, I did 15 feet off the corner, and you're gonna have a wall. You're gonna have about 1.5 foot drop on the ends, and then about 3 foot on the corner, and that averages to 2 foot for the wall. So it's a 2 foot by 30 foot wall plus the footer. We'll do mono style, we'll just do all at the same time. And any extra material we have, we'll either build this up on the inside for the base, or build this up so that the transition is still available for the driveway. And if the elevation is about 1.5 foot off the ground, what I figure we can do is, because the joints would be 10 and 10, and 15 is the end of the wall, between the 15 and 20 mark, which would leave Yep. Okay, just double checking everything in my mind. So that's a 3500 mix, fiber. He's okay with saw joints. Yeah, and that's it. It's a long video, but it was a very precise job. So.